Happy Wednesday, precious peeps. I hope you're doing good. You know, one of the things about the Christian faith is forgiveness. It's all over our doctrines, and it's the reason why Christ died on the cross for us. And today we're going to talk a little bit about what Jesus has to say about forgiveness. Hi, I'm Pastor Mark with Heights Christian Church. What we are doing as a body, as a community of believers, is that we are going through the Bible in 5 years to help us with our knowledge of what God is speaking to us, which we believe is the Bible. And we invite you to come along with us and to do that. And the simplest way to do that is to subscribe to this channel. Daily you'll get notifications about the short videos that we produce, and you will read along with us in the Bible, and in 5 years' time you will have completed the entire scriptures and have read it at least once. So we invite you to do that. So today we are in Matthew Chapter 18. We'll read the entire chapter, and then we'll talk a little bit about what Jesus had to say about forgiveness or unforgiveness, as the case may be. So let's read this together. At that time, the disciples came to Jesus saying, "Who then is greatest in the kingdom of heaven?" Then Jesus called the little child to him, set him in the midst of them, and said, "Assuredly, I say to you, unless you are converted and become as little children, you will by no means enter the kingdom of heaven. Therefore, whoever humbles himself as this little child is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. Whoever receives one little child like this in my name receives me. But whoever causes one of these little ones who believe in me to sin, it would be better for him if a millstone were hung around his neck and he were drowned in the depth of the sea. Woe to the world because of the offenses. For offense must come, but woe to that man by whom the offense comes. If your hand or foot causes you to sin, cut it off and cast it from you. It is better for you to enter into life lame or maimed rather than having 2 hands or 2 feet to be cast into the everlasting fire. And if your eye causes you to sin, pluck it out, cast it from you. It is better for you to enter into life with 1 eye rather than having 2 eyes to be cast into hellfire." Verse 10, "Take heed that you do not despise one of these little ones, for I say to you that in heaven their angels always see the face of my Father who is in heaven. For the Son of Man has come to save that which was lost. What do you think? If a man has 100 sheep and one of them goes astray, does he not leave the 99 and go to the mountains to seek the one that is straying? And if he should find it, assuredly, I say to you, he rejoices more over that sheep than over the 99 that did not go astray. Even so, it is not the will of your Father who is in heaven that one of these little ones should perish. Moreover, if your brother sins against you, go and tell him his fault between you and him alone. If he hears you, you have gained your brother. But if he will not hear, take with you 1 or 2 more, that by the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he refuses to hear them, tell it to the church. But if he refuses even to hear the church, let him be to you like the heathen and the tax collector. Assuredly, I say to you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Again, I say to you, that if 2 of you agree on earth concerning anything that they ask, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them." Then Peter came to him and said, "Lord, how often shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Up to 7 times? And Jesus said to him, "I do not say to you up to 7 times, but up to 70 times 7. Therefore, the kingdom of heaven is like a certain king who wanted to settle accounts with his servants. And when he had begun to settle accounts, one was brought to him who owed him 10,000 talents. But as he was not able to pay, his master commanded that he be sold, with his wife and children and all that he had, and that payment be made. The servant therefore fell down before him, saying, 'Master, Have patience with me, and I will pay you all." Then the master of that servant was moved with compassion, released him, and forgave him the debt. But that servant went out and found one of his fellow servants who owed him 100 denarii. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, "Pay me what you owe." So his fellow servants fell down at his feet and begged him, saying, "Have patience with me, I will pay you all." And he would not, but went and threw him into prison till he should pay the debt. So when his fellow servants saw what had been done, they were very grieved, and came and told their master all that had been done. Then his master, after he called him, said to him, "You wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt because you begged me. Should you not also have had compassion on your fellow servant, just as I had pity on you?" And his master was angry and delivered him to the torturers until he should pay all that was due to him. So my heavenly Father also will do to you if each of you from his heart does not forgive his brother his trespasses. Wow, that's chapter 18 of Matthew, and there's so much we could talk about. We could absolutely talk about what Jesus talked about with the children, or as we should come as children into the kingdom of heaven, or talking about forgiving. Should we forgive our brother 7 times? And he says, no, 70 times 7. All that. But I think this last parable is very kind of scary if you think about it. Jesus is likening his heavenly Father, Yahweh, God, as this king who forgave a servant a huge sum of money. Just forgave it because he asked and begged and said, please, have patience on me. But then that same servant was not the same way to another servant that owed him money, a very small amount of money. And so the king gets word of this and ends up punishing this first servant who was forgiven so much, and casts him in prison. And so Jesus is saying how important forgiveness is. Okay? Yeah, there's no other faith, no other religion that you find in the world that has anything to do with forgiveness. Most of the other religions of the world talk about you need to pay people back, you need to get their revenge, and all that stuff. And generational, it never ends. It never ends. But in the Christian faith, the idea of forgiveness is essential. And it's kind of scary in the fact that Jesus is saying, if you will not forgive people who have trespassed against you, have caused you pain or what have you, then God will not forgive you. I mean, that's a pretty scary thing. So, my friends, let me encourage you. If you know of someone in your life that you have not forgiven, do that today. Be someone who forgives people. Listen, not because they deserve it, but because you, as a Christian, have been forgiven much more. When we rebel against God, that is punishable by death. But God forgave us because of what Jesus did on the cross. And so we too need to be those that forgive others their trespasses against us. That's my encouragement for today. Do it today. Don't wait any longer. Forgive those that have hurt you, those that have gone against you. You might say, well, Pastor Mark, you don't know what this person did to me. It doesn't matter what they did to me. It doesn't matter what they did to you. We need to forgive because Christ tells us to forgive. Simple as that. Well, I love you guys. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.